Welcome, family and friends. It's time for another yogi lesson with Miss Christine in her studio. Miss Chloe is meditating in the kitchen over her food bowl right now, but Miss Yogi is here to supervise the lesson today. We are going to have a 2-for-1 special today. We're going to learn 2 different yoga poses that utilize the tabletop pose that we learned last week. The tabletop will be the preparation for these 2 poses. One is a cat-cow pose, and 2 is a spinal balance pose. The cat-cow pose, like it sounds, is a yin and yang of each other. We move up into a cat, and then we move out to a cow. Using both use the tabletop position. They both benefit you opposite ways. The cow, when you stretch up, it stretches your front, strengthens your back. And the cat, when you go into the cat, it strengthens your core and stretches your back. So there's also a marriage of breathing in this pose too. You have to marry your breathing with your movement. When you go into the cow, you inhale up, and you inhale all the way till you're done and you're in the final pose, and you exhale as you come down into the cat until you're into the final cat pose. So the marriage of the breathing is really important. When you, this is usually used in the warm-up phase of a yoga practice, and you kind of use it like a rocking horse, back and forth and back and forth. But when it is used in the core section of a yoga practice, you will go into one of them and breathe 3 to 5 times, and then go into the other one and breathe 3 to 5 times. So there's a little different sequence of breathing, that's all. So, there's the same options that we had with tabletop. If you're over 12 years old, pad your knees. You got wrist thing, you're going to be on your wrists, so you have to protect your wrists if they're not quite strong enough to hold your weight for very long. And you can use the wrist braces, or you can use your fists. And one of our members sent me a link for wrist blocks, yoga wrist blocks. It's on our page. You can look those up, or you can go ahead and Google them or whatever. I've never seen them before, but it might be something to look into because I have trouble with my wrists sometimes. Okay, let's get over onto our mat. I think Chloe might come over and join us in a minute. That's okay. Onto our knees. We're going to go into tabletop, and I'm going to review it real quick. Hasta Bandha, starfish hands. We are going to make sure that we have contact with the earth with all 4 fingertips and knuckles, these inside knuckles. We are going to try to place most of the weight of our body in between the index finger and the thumb. And the way we do that is we do a little tiny internal rotation of our forearms, and that should bring our body weight to that part of the hand. We're going to stack our wrists over our shoulders, but we are not going to hyperextend our elbows. Leave them kind of loose, loosey-goosey. Our knees are going to be stacked to our hips, and our ankles are going to be straightened back like exhaust pipes on a car, and they're going to be right in line with our knees. So let's go down. The crown of our head is pointing to the wall in front of us. Our tailbone is pointing to the wall in back of us. And we are lengthening the area between our earlobe and our shoulder. Be sure and stack those wrists and shoulders. So this is like head over heart over pelvis, only in a horizontal position. Now we want to try to make that back really flat. How would we do that? We suck in our navel. Suck it in really tight. Now we're going to go into a cow pose. And by doing that, we are going to bring our forward chest and head forward. We're going to extend our spine, and when we extend our spine, our pelvis is going to tip upwards. I have to make sure I'm in the perfect tabletop. So here I go. I'm going to inhale. I won't inhale because I'm going to be talking, but you inhale. Inhale. Bring your chest and your head forward. Start extending that spine, and you can, and your tailbone will tilt upwards. Then we exhale, and we start with our tailbone, bringing our tailbone under, flexing our spine, which rounds up, and our chin comes to our chest. Again, inhale, chest forward, head upward, extend your spine, and your tailbone will follow and tilt up. Exhale. Start with your tailbone, tilt it under, vertebrae by vertebrae, flexes up, and your chin comes to your chest. One more time. Inhale, chest forward, head goes up, spine flexes, and your tailbone tilts up to the sky. Keep those shoulders down. Exhale. Tilt your tailbone under. Your spine starts flexing vertebrae by vertebrae, and your chin comes to your chest. Now let's go back to tabletop. I think it's time for a wrist roll, don't you? 5 times each way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the things you have to kind of watch out for in cat-cow are those shoulders. I mentioned them while we were doing it. You've got to keep them down. They tend to want to come up or come forward. And you need to keep them down. That'll take time to learn to do that. I'm all the time going, oh, bring it down. It's okay. Breathing regularly. As you go into cow, inhale. As you go into cat, exhale. Like I said, if you do this in the middle of a yoga session, you will go into cow, and you'll probably take 3 to 5 breaths, and then you'll go into cat, and you'll do 3 to 5 breaths. But when you're doing it at the beginning of a warm-up in a yoga session, it'll be like a rocking horse. So make sure that your wrists are stacked, that you're in spinal alignment, and your breathing is regular, like I mentioned. Now we're going to switch gears and go into spinal balance. I'm going to show you the beginner's way first, and then a way in which you can build a little heat. I'm also going to do one on a chair too. So, again, spread those puppies, spread them, Hasta down. Make sure that you get into spinal alignment. Pull that navel in. Get those shoulders down. Stack your wrists, shoulders, knees, and hips. And you're going to lift one arm at a time, inhaling. So inhale, exhale. Then inhale, exhale. Now to get a little more heat into the movement, you're going to do it with the opposite leg. So you're going to lift, inhale, stretch your opposite leg back and then up. Do not go over your body. Don't go like that or like that. Keep everything in alignment. Down. Let's go the other side. Lift up. Put your leg back and lift it. You don't have to lift it if you don't want to. You can leave it down there. That's fine. But lift it. Stretch it back, but don't bring it up. Keep your limbs. Keep your limbs in alignment with your body. Now this is a great strength exercise for the whole body, but its main purpose is balance. And that's a really important lesson to learn. There's several asanas that deal with balance, and we'll be going through several of them. That's the first one. You can also do this with a chair. Okay? You can lift, bend over at your waist, make a tabletop, lift out. Be sure to keep your knees, don't hyperextend your knees. Like we talked about, don't hyperextend your elbows when we're in tabletop. Well, in this position, don't hyperextend your knees, but lift one arm out and one leg back. I guess you can't see my leg, but it's poking out there, straight and back. You can also just touch it to the back. Like that. You don't have to lift it. Eventually you'll lift it. Be sure to inhale when you go up and exhale when you come down. Gotta do both sides. Inhale when you go up. Exhale when you come down. Okay. So, that's your lesson for today. What do you think you can do for today? You can do what you can do. And do it as soon as you can, and do it over and over and over again and again. And you'll be surprised how little something can change the world. Have a good day. Namaste.